Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for the road to my 787th Platinum Trophy. Today's game is Star Wars Republic Commando for the PS4. I think it's only PS4 generation. I don't think it's on like PS5 or Vita or anything. I believe it also does have a North American version and maybe like a European version or something, which is a little bit surprising. But anyway, right here, we're pretty much just waiting right now until we can actually get the final trophy, because there it is. Geez, that took longer than I thought to actually bring it up. But anyway, this is a relatively easy overall Platinum Trophy. There's nothing majorly difficult about it, but the game is definitely a product of age. It is a rather old game, and it kind of plays like an older game. The control scheme is really, really weird if you don't change it. Like, you can change it, but the controls can be pretty janky, and the AI can be kind of janky. It's not a bad game, but it does have a few issues. One of my favorite things about it is that the squad is your weapon, except that for about a quarter of the game, you don't have a squad. For literally like a quarter, maybe even a fifth of the game, at least a fifth, maybe a quarter of the game, you literally don't even have a squad, which is just really, really dumb. But anyway, the Platinum Trophy is relatively easy overall, but like I said, the game is a bit of a product of its age, and it might be a bit of a learning curve for some players. It is a first-person shooter, a squad-based one, so this is an unmissable story trophy at the very beginning of the game. This one is going to happen many, many times throughout the game, so no problem there. Just revive anyone one time. Then both of these are story-related trophies. Geonosis is the first of the three major campaigns, and Kashyyyk is the last one. Geonosis is real short. Kashyyyk takes absolutely forever, just drags on forever, and gets very, very repetitive by the end. So then you also have to collect all the enemy weapons. There are only 5 total in the game, but some of them are fairly rare, so just make sure you keep track of them. The ones that count are the shotgun that you start getting during the second campaign, so the RAS one. So that's one of the weapons. Then there's the one that the Geonosian elite enemies drop. It's like a laser gun. Then there's the heavy machine gun, I think counts. That's the one that all of the lizard people end up dropping during like the second and third campaign, or just the elite enemies do, excuse me. And then there's a couple others. Apparently the Wookiee crossbow does not count, or bowcaster as it's called. That one doesn't count because presumably, well, the Wookiees are your friends, so yeah. 100 melee kills is easy, but it does take some time. The melee actually is really useful in this game. It can one-shot a lot of the enemies, or at least a lot of the more normal enemies. It won't one-shot the tougher enemies, but it's pretty strong, so it's worth using. This one is pretty much unmissable. You're going to get this fairly early on during the story, and this is the second of those 3 campaigns. It's the medium-length one, but on this one, there's a huge chunk of this one where you're playing solo, which, again, is probably the worst part of the game because it says it's a squad-based game, and then you have to go play solo for some reason. Slice into a console is pretty much unmissable. It doesn't matter if you're the one that does it or if it's one of your teammates that does it, because you can give them basic orders. This one's unmissable. It'll happen just naturally throughout the game. This one, there's a few different places you can do it. I got it actually by well, not necessarily by mistake, but out of luck, I earned it at the very end of the game on like the very last mission, or one of the last missions on Kashyyyk. But there's a really good place to do it earlier on, and it's where you can get another trophy as well. Fending off a scavenger droid, these guys are mostly in the second area, and they'll just fly up and grab onto your face, and you have to pound them off with your hand. So this one will most likely come naturally, but if it doesn't, you can just go back to any level where they spawn in and just let one crawl onto you. For this one, you just have to have your allies or yourself plant demolition charges throughout the game and blow up 10 of them. I think this one's pretty much unmissable with all the droid spawners. Request a revive. Whenever you go down, you can request to recall for a revive, so you're going to probably get this one naturally many times. You have to beat the game on easy, medium, and on hard. Now, hard difficulty, again, is the most difficult trophy in the game because, again, the game is a bit of a product of its age. It can be a little bit tough at times. There's a few pretty bad difficulty spikes, and then of course there's the fact that you have some levels where you pretty much have to go at it alone, and you die really, really fast on hard, so definitely be careful. And even on easy, you still die pretty quickly. But for this trophy, just make sure that as soon as you load into the main menu of the game, but before you select new game, go to the options menu and change the difficulty to hard so that you don't end up getting screwed over. Then you have to get a kill while piloting a walker. This is the last trophy I earned. You're supposed to get this one naturally at the very, very end of the RAS missions when you're going through the hangar bays, but somehow I managed to not get it because I probably told like one of my squad mates to get in instead. Issue all squad commands at least once. You just hold triangle and then hit each of the 4 directional buttons while in there to do this. This one, you can do this several times throughout like the very first area of the game, and I think well, no, I think it's only in the Geonosis campaign can you do this one, but it's still pretty easy. This is in a real early mission during the Geonosis campaign. There's a bunch of eggs you have to hit. This one can be just a little bit finicky because there are a lot of eggs, or not necessarily finicky, just tedious. So just watch a video guide and be careful while you're doing it and you should be fine. This one, you basically just have to mash the triangle on one of the health dispensers too quickly, so hit it, then immediately hit it again to make them cancel the order. Then in this one, this is a specific one for a certain mission during the RAS Protector. It's inside of one of the ventilation shafts. Then you have to blow yourself up, so you can easily do this by just throwing a thermal detonator at yourself, or probably by blowing up like an explosive container next to you. Blow up 10 explosive barrels. This is basically unmissable. They're good for doing damage. Then this one, I think that this one was an unmissable story-related trophy, so that I'm 99% sure it is. This one is an unmissable story-related trophy. So on this one, this is done during, I think, the very end of Geonosis. I'm almost 100% sure this is during the last few areas of Geonosis. You can drop these droid dispensers on enemies, and that's also where you can get that 5 kills with a thermal detonator trophy. This one, just punch at a droid with your melee attack and it should knock their head off. It just might take a couple of tries. The speeder bike is on that very last mission that I just did, so it's in the Hangar C right before where I was in the level. And then this trophy isn't technically difficult. I mean, the guides say that it's basically unmissable while just playing through the game normally on hard, but I actually didn't get it because it has to be 10 times within any singular mission, not within a whole campaign. And even the actual missions that you can select from the campaign map are broken up into several smaller missions usually. So it has to be 10 times between different loading screens pretty much. And I also think this one's bugged because I'm pretty sure I went down like 15 to 20 times before it unlocked. So yeah, overall, fairly easy game, fairly straightforward, fun at first, but gets to be kind of repetitive by the end because you're just doing the exact same thing over and over again. Alright, level 857, 4%, 27,616 total trophies, 787 platinums, 5,204 gold, 7,387 silvers, 14,238 bronzes. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed and made it all the way to the end, go ahead and leave me a like and subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't done so already. Let me know down in the comments if you've done this platinum before, because this one, I guess it's a bit more of a niche title, one that a lot of people probably don't really remember from the older days. So again, thank you guys for watching. See you back here real soon for another video.